Hello, everyone, and welcome back to more of the NYChampionships. We are in the NA Qualifier. It's going to be our second series today. It's going to be Pain Gaming going against the new Fire squad. So, what are we anticipating here? Fire, it's a bit of a hodgepodge right now. They got a little bit from their Root Gaming with the Moo and Fluff. They got 747, a.k.a. Susie from the Void Boys, who's made a lot of names for himself. And also Whitebeard, which we know also is from Fire, and Jo from Rave. So a little bit of everything there, gods.
It's a hodgepodge. Fire, to me, it's such like a classic name. It goes way back to the original Fluff team when he first came to Dota 2. And they were a powerhouse back then. They were one of the best teams in the Western Dota scene. And going into TI2, they were kind of looked at as one of they were the American hope there. There was EG there, but it was Fire, although they got picked up by Complexity, who most people looked at as the top team. But since then, a lot's changed, and these teams have had stints all across the place. Like some of the teams you mentioned, Liquid, they've EG for Jo. Like these players have been around the block.
So we'll have to see what kind of tests they're going to be up for here, because they're going to be facing off against Pain Gaming. Some of you might recognize some of these players. They've been around the Southern American bracket for quite a while, formerly part of like C&D Esports, Swag and Tiger before that. I recognize ADR. This guy's a high-caliber player. You know, he's currently sporting about a 6.7K MMR. And even above that, you have HFN, who's boasting a sweet 7.2K MMR. This guy's top 4 right now in the leaderboards. So very talented individuals here. You know, we always could say that there might be an argument for probably some ping on the side of Pain's side, but I have a bit more hope for Pain here. More hope than I did for Union Gaming.
Yeah. I said earlier today, I think this is maybe more 50-50, and even just seeing the individual skill there is backed up by their MMR. It's not going to mean everything on a competitive level in the team environment, but I think this could be a close series. I would say I'm almost expecting it to go 3 games, just because I feel like they'll be very evenly matched up. So really curious to see how things unravel here. I've been very impressed by 747 Susie in the past on Void Boys. I felt like that was a team that showed some promise, but kind of didn't lack the team synergy, but always in the mid lane, Susie was impressive. So I think it was a really good pickup for Fire.
And if he will be playing the mid lane again, which I do wager they have already obtained the Shadow Fiend. It's a Dire side Shadow Fiend, but it comes after a nice prized Tusk grab. For the side of Pain Gaming, they're going to be opening with their Gyrocopter and an Earthshaker follow-up here. So who do you think wins in the first grab?
I like Pain's a little more. I think Tusk vs. Gyro is like, I guess the trade Fire or kind of after, but I think again the Earthshaker with the Gyro is really nice. Earthshaker gives you a good way to pressure and gank the mid lane, a good hero to roam around, make stacks. Synergizes nicely with the Gyrocopter cooldown, so Gyro can TP to a lane, combo that with a Fissure, and then you found yourself a good fight and favorable exchange. So I think slightly favoring Pain. What Fire's going to do now is ban out some of the mid laners that can pressure the SF with those Earthshaker rotations. So take out Lina, maybe even consider taking out something like a Queen of Pain. The kind of heroes that with an Earthshaker Fissure rotation can just get a kill in an SF and get a huge advantage in mid.
On the side of Pain, they've rid of the AM, which of course we saw in the last series do a lot of work in the hands of a big farmer like Ritsu, so not going to have that luxury on the side of Fire. Do we know, is Jo, I believe Jo is playing the 1 position right now for Fire.
That's what I've been seeing mostly, and in pubs I've seen him almost exclusively practicing safe lane.
Okay.
It's been playing more kind of aggressive style carries, like Gyrocopters, and seen him playing a bit of Husker even, so it's been Troll Warlord's another hero that, despite it falling off, I've seen him play quite a bit in pubs, so we'll see what Fluff gets for him this time around.
And I have to put that core position on reserve for a little bit. They can always good for the old reliable Dazzle, let's say, if they want to put on top a bit of that armor synergy between him and the Shadow Fiend. Adds Roche potential. He is a medallion candidate after all.
Great with Tusk too. You snowball in, it sets up the Shadow Wave heal bomb. So I really like the Tusk. A lot of teams during TI and even since then have been doing like a Tusk Dazzle opening just because of how well these two heroes work together.
Undying is also still out there if they want to go real crazy and dare do the Tusk Undying off lane. Could be a possibility.
Could well do that.
Moo is their off-lane player, and he has been playing very, very well. We saw him run through BTS Americas. They did win that, the old Root Gaming squad with Moo as well as Fluff. And, you know, he played a top-notch Darkseer in their final game. Lots of Tusk was played, lots of Clockwork. He certainly knows how to utilize these heroes, so I'm curious if they're just going to let him do his own thing in that off lane, hold his own. I know he's capable of being able to utilize the shards in a way of blocking out the wave, similar to a Clockwork. So if necessary, and he must play solo, he can do it. But I'm just curious to see if they're going to have to go more aggressive. It would be against a Gyrocopter. I don't know if it's too necessary to keep him in check. We'll see where their priorities
They
are.
ban out the Undying, so prevent some of that potential aggression. There's still other options if you want to go like the Dazzle we kind of talked a bit about. But for now, Rubik picked up by Fire, so just a solid range support to put in there, safe lane and to roam around a bit. It's got a good instant disable for the Storm Spirit, and great spells to steal in the form of the Fissure especially. That's probably one of the best spells in the game in general for a Rubik to steal. It's just your bread and butter. Very easy to steal, and you can do so much with it.
Even the Note Field adds a lot to this fight. Very good against a Gyrocopter with his big magic burst, and of course Earthshaker, and I'm sure it will help against Storm plus whoever. So just a great utility, all-around fantastic support. Adds great level 1 game as well, especially near the runes or any sort of contention near the runes. Rubik has that power. It's like, you come too close, I'm putting you on that cliff. So don't think about it. But we'll see here. Pain decided to move on forward. This comes after the TA ban from the side of Fire. That's a bit of an intriguing ban. It'd be a Radiant side TA. It could be respect towards the side of Pain Gaming on what they like to play normally. But I do feel like there's still some other decent options there for him.
I wasn't particularly expecting a TA pick in the 3rd or 4th slot, but
Dazzle's going to be snagged up from Pain's side here.
So Earthshaker could always be their offlane here. I feel Storm and Jari have got two pretty big farmers, and having it offlaner like an Earthshaker fits in quite nicely with that, getting more level priority towards him. And then they can get two really strong laning supports. But for now we see Razor picked up by Fire. And that's a hero which is just so good at zoning and beats down so many heroes in the safe lane. And that's where just putting an Earthshaker in the offlane fissure block guarantees some XP. You're not going to get farm there, but I kind of like the idea of just sacking him, because whoever you put in the offlane is not getting farmed. You just want a hero there to get XP.
Yeah, for a lot of the heroes already that have been picked up from the side of Pain, they need to be in close quarters. They need to be kind of up in your face, and that's where someone like Razor can really thrive. He's a big man fighter, so if Gyrocopter needs to get close to try to dish out as much damage, he'll be there to kind of soak it up. And as you said, should be able to punish the offlaner, especially if it's someone like an Earthshaker. He'll get a little bit of give with the fissure block, but yeah, overall Razor should be able to hold his own, even with a simple +1. If they do decide to still kind of keep this more of an aggressive offlane, that option could still be there. Or maybe even a jungling hero, let's say. I'm not too sure. We'll have to see what Fire decide to go for and how greedy they do want to play it.
Yeah, especially with like Storm Gyro. Gyro needs to maybe hit level 5, level 6 before he can rotate. Storm just wants to sit mid. I think Fire could very well get away with a jungler, even something greedy like an Enigma if they wanted to. They're on the dire side, so it's like the ideal place to pick up the Enigma. It's a lot better jungle for the hero, so it is a possibility. For now, they ban out Lion. I think just recognizing that Fire maybe want to pick up some more lockdown for Storm. You've got Telekinesis and Warrior's Punch as the big ones for now, but
you got something like a Silencer, though, still out there, which I wouldn't put it past Fire to pick up. Very good against the Storm. You don't want to, if a Storm is forced into a position where he needs to get like a BKB, that's not really a great Storm
Fluff
game.
loves the hero, too. I always see him talking about it, so.
Very good against the Earthshaker. Yeah, Fluff does. He loves doing Agnum's build up first. Typically, a lot of people like to get the Refresher, just the more guaranteed double global seems to be better, but he's a big advocate on pushing for the Agnums first.
Well,
and Mama is here.
This is actually, I remember Pain used to do this a lot. They love picking that offlane Brood, and this has been something they've been doing for a while now. So this affects your last pick. Now you're thinking some kind of an AoE. Do you put the Tusk on a support and pick up something like an Axe or a Legion Commander? Because Brood's a problem here, and I think it's actually worth switching the role of the Tusk to pick a hero to counter the Brood. If not, if you're going to stick with your Tusk offlane, then you need to pick up a really strong support duo, like a Rubik plus AA maybe, and just have Sentry Wards zone out the Brood from level 1. Even that, I think Rubik AA is not the worst problem for a Brood.
Reserve time.
I think you... if I'm Fire, I'm just like, I'd be heavily considering an Axe pick here.
Yeah. Other than that, it's like, what, Legion Commander, maybe? That's another plausible option.
I think Axe is a bit better than Legion Commander in general.
Certainly, because you got a Dazzle as well.
Yeah. This is a great game for an Axe.
It depends if they trust themselves to be like, okay, Rubik, you're going to be a pretty hard 5 at this point. Yeah, Tusk is going to be roaming around, and we're going to have to throw the axe.
I mean, that offensive trial lane is really strong. Razor, Rubik, Tusk, and then you just do the axe solo against the Brood. That's a strong lane. Yeah. Earthshaker, Dazzle, Gyro, also strong lane and all. You've got Shadow Wave to sustain, Gyrocopter, Grade, and trial lane versus trial lane. But they go for the strong support Joe. So
Splinter Shot is not bad. Very good at being able to rid of the little Broodlings very, very fast. It's long range, so and with the flight capability, could kind of get himself out from trouble, given that Brood isn't able to quickly chase him down through the trees. But I think if you're going to kind of stick to filling in that secondary support, this is probably one of the best options you can get that's left out there.
Yeah, this Brood lane is kind of the make or break for Pain Gaming, I feel. They can apply a ton of pressure to fire, or if Brood gets picked off once or twice, doesn't get much levels, then the entire pick is backfired. So it's a very kind of key part of their overall strategy that the Brood lane goes well. And there's nothing really, it's not like they can send some support help or do much. It's just going to come down to the individual play of Tavo.
We'll have to see. So we're putting a lot on this Brood Mother lane, and I'm sure Fire Dota are going to be doing the same. Look for the sentries to be coming out early, and we'll have to see. Already, Brian grabbing them up. But here we go, folks. It's time to hop into our second series today. A best of 3 here for the NYChampionships and a qualifier run. Still in the first round here between these two teams. It's Pain Gaming going toe-to-toe with Team Fire in just game number 1. Fire coming into this. Heavier favorites, but it might be because there's a lot more familiar names to the common crowd. You got your J.O., you got your Fluff and stuff, but you cannot sleep on Team Pain Gaming. These Brazilian boys are very crafty, and as I said before, you take a look at the top leaderboard, and you might see a couple of Pain members there. So do not deny their skill. Already they're moving as a 4 towards the bottom, adding extra aggression on the bottom rune. It's just a simple move here. He has no boots, so he's trying to just maybe futz down a quick side ops here. I don't know if he's going to be able to get close enough to block out the pull. Might have to kind of settle for just a side ward here, but it could get spotted.
He's been scouted, and then that's one of the big things here. You scout the offlaner with a ward, you know he hasn't plopped it down yet, and you can kind of keep tabs of where he puts it. This is where most teams would buy one less branch and pick up a TP if you're Tusk, and then TP down here, get the early pull block, or at least even if you're not blocking the pull, you get down the ward before they can scout and see you. And I think that's maybe just a mistake that Fire's made just from the get-go, not TPing their offlaner down there to get this ward, because without it, it's going to be very tricky.
Yeah, he's just going to be holding it, and Dazzle will be holding his own sentry, just kind of keeping an eye on where that obs could end up. And you look at the other side, Fluff does have 2 sentries on hand in preparation for this Brood lane, but I'm sure Tavo has been around the block with his Brood Mother play and has gone against some of the worst tri lanes with plenty of sentries. We'll have to see if he can keep his composure and still find his way as a Brood.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. Mid lane going to be assisted blocked here from Mr. Quirquir, or QWER, and he's going to be helping out his good buddy here, HFN. Very highly touted MMR, going to be going against 747. I'm actually really excited about this matchup on paper. But Shadow Fiend already feeling the early harassment coming out from this Earthshaker.
And that's just sufficient just to prevent one last hit there. Top lane, though, they've got it on Brood, and this is a first blood.
Yes, it is. They got the sentries, and they get it done. Quick and easy grab right there. Whitebeard assist, gets the telekinesis lift. Fluff has got the Arctic Burn, which is a ridiculous amount of damage, and slow. And, of course, with J.O. there nearby, he can just sap up the damage and finish it off.
Nice, just sneaky play from Fluff. Hiding in the secret shop. He placed the sentry from the secret shop as well. Like, he was in that little kind of cubby hole there, places a sentry from the trees, and then just flies over them. So it's a great way to initiate. And this is where you can kind of punish a Radiant offlane Brood. They've got the creep equilibrium up really high at the top lane, making it hard to get any kind of experience.
Again, continued harassment, just what you commonly see from your mid lane support Earthshaker. He makes a stack, he pops a clarity, he goes mid, he knocks him with a fissure, goes back, rinse and repeat here. But it looks like they are going to turn the corner potentially again. Fluff already early to the 2-minute rune, but he wants to kind of turn the corner, come back. Still holds an extra sentry as well, just in case. This is going to be a pretty difficult start. Tavo is yet to get to his level 2. Once your Brood Mother gets to like that level 3 and gets a hold of a Soul Ring, things become a lot easier, but it's proven that it might even just take an extra bit of effort even to get to that point.
I mean, Fluff, as far as playing the 5-role support, knowing how to like zone off laners and when to pull is just like like he's one of the best. He's done guides on it. It's really informative stuff if you guys are wondering like how to play that 5-position support. And they're doing it here. You've got a level 1 Brood. This is how you beat an offlane Brood. Keep him level 1 as long as possible. If you don't have an Axe or a Legion Commander, some kind of a counter pick, you've got to go dual support and zone him out.
Yeah.
And now he's going to pull. There's a double range creep on the dire side. This is really important to note. So you get that double range creep at top, you pull the camp, you pull it back. Brood's going to get some XP here. He'll probably get about level 2 off of this, or like halfway to level 2, but you deny any potential second wave of XP going his way.
Yep.
And they're actually going to kill him. Even better.
They get a pullback once again. Caught him out on the side. Nicely done. Again, the dynamic duo already between Whitebeard and Jo working very well.
I think they scouted him with the plasma field. I think they just guessed he was on those trees. Jo just throws the plasma field, says, look, this is where the Brood's got to be hiding. He wants XP. He's leeching from here. And then once he's been hit, Rubik gets telekinesis, Fluff comes in. Just, again, great execution coming out from Fire in the safe lane.
You compare that over to the other side of the globe. We have Mu playing this off-lane Tusk, already about 3.5. Only has 3 CS, but you put that in comparison to the Brood, and he is just having a terrific time so far. Looks like he did eventually plop down his obs. He actually just put it in the lane, knowing that there would not be a sentry there. Just get some sort of excess vision on the side.
That's the Radiant Ward, actually.
Oh, you're right.
In the lane. They placed that really. It looks like Tusk did get de-warded by the sentry that was placed.
Oh, okay. So he did end up trying to put it on the side.
Ultimately, he's still level 3.5, has boots, and is looking really good right now.
Back at mid lane here, 16 for your Shadow Fiend, 18 and 6 for your Storm Spirit, who is also jungle farming on the side, but it's no stacks happening here. Supports are kind of all hands on deck at this point. You know, if Brood's struggling as it is, they're putting a lot of attention to try to bring it back here on bottom, plus this Earthshaker's been roaming about a little bit. You know, we'll have to see, but it's a good catch-up period for both sides. No rotations really towards this mid lane. They're not going to try to take this Storm Spirit down before he does get to his level 6. And aside from occasional fissures coming out from your Earthshaker, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to put some pressure on 747.
When Fluff finds a high-impact rune, gets an invis, so he can either gain compression mid lane or he can go top. He will scout out the Storm Spirit here, and Storm, he's pinging. He says, there's no rune here, and I just got body blocked. At least he might be saying he just got body blocked, because that kind of reveals the fact that there's an invis Winter Wyvern if you notice his hero's weird pathing.
Oh yeah, I mean, they'll see Whitebeard top lane. They know Mu just kind of pieced out from the bottom, and by deduction, it's simple to say that Fluff is somewhere with a rune, whatever rune it may be. They want to kind of play it safe for now. You got Earthshaker still hiding right behind the tower. HFN not really in a position where if they bait something out, he can capitalize on it, but oh, Fluff, he's close, and conveniently they put the courier right over the trees. If that went straight down the lane, that would have been a dead courier.
Yeah, possibly. Courier is very tanky against Winter Wyvern.
Arctic Burn could help. It's long range and pretty good damage, even on a courier. You'd be surprised. Well, he got some more wards.
Brood is only just now brought out. I feel like you need the level 1 sentries on Brood. Like I think he just got a bit greedy, not going for it, and you can use it just to de-ward. Like basically, you need to de-sentry your lane, because if they have sentries in lane, you can't get XP. So he's done that now.
Oh, Fluff back again. This courier will cross in front of him. Is he going to make the jump for it? We'll find out. No. Maybe wait for it on the comeback?
Be nice to Dusky. No one wants to
hurt
a cute little puppy.
He's gone. He's not going to go for it. All right. He'll head straight up.
I think just staying missing off the map is more important now. And like it's a pretty low percentage. I think he gets the courier with all the plus 10 armor it has. And
what he does do instead is plant a very nice aggressive ward behind that tier 1 top lane. Looks like they're going to just continue to put a lot of attention on this top lane, and they can actually kind of deduct where this Broodmother is going to be lurking, if not hiding back in near the tower. I
don't think he's used Spiderlings once this entire game as a Brood. Like, that's how much pressure they put on him. He has not been able to... There we go. He just used his first spawn Spiderlings of the game, I'm pretty sure.
Scouting out nearby, seeing if maybe there's a Winter Wyvern, but Wyvern is actually nearby in the river, looking to come up from the side. Tava will already be in a good position there. Call down happening bottom lane from Mu. First rocket will connect. He decides to snowball, goes in for ADR. ADR turns back with a little bit of a rocket barrage, but not enough to take down Mu. Mu's going to be able to just walk up north and make it away.
Yeah. Salves up and everything, so he's kind of staying near this lane as well. And Mu is, level 4.5. He's getting a lot of XP out of this lane.
Looks like the return of HFM back to his mid lane here. Your Storm Spirit looking to throw together those early power treads here. No sort of component for a Soul Ring yet, but he's now level 7 here. We'll see if he decides to wait for that magic level 8 before he really begins to roll. And also 747 kind of just doing his own thing here. I was going to say probably looking to build up some stacks for him on the side. It looks like Whitebeard's already going to get on the one stack, and Fluff's going to get on the other here. So this is a lot of income to be picked up here from Susie.
That's just impressive from the supports. You've got all these stacks while you've crushed the Brood in lane. They've gotten so much done for the team. Gotten deep wards. They've got a high ground ward mid lane that hasn't been dewarded. A ward behind the top tier 1 tower. They've just done a great job shutting down the Brood. And, I mean, Brood just has got nowhere near enough out of this lane. Has applied zero pressure whatsoever.
And until he is, Pain could be fighting in a 4 versus 5 kind of a game when the mid game does approach and all these level 6s start coming online. Brood would be stuck in a position where he really can't participate. You really should not be participating. Your job as a Brood is usually to infest and take over one whole part of the Dota map.
And with Razor's farm, I think Razor can actually deal with the Brood kind of solo. Like, yeah, you can build up a lot of Spiderlings, but Razor will just max the plasma field, nuke him down, and if you go near the Razor, he static slinks you and he can kind of follow you in invis, stealing your damage. He gets that slight tracking capability and will just cause Brood some problems.
Look like Whitebeard and the supports are going to get a little bit of time for solo farm as you will see 747 look to take over and farm up that jungle. This allows them to kind of get the levels together. Whitebeard can get to his level 6 spell still, which it looks like they're going to just put the priority onto him. Fluff will continue to play that very selfless kind of Winter Wyvern and sit at bay and just kind of hold the wards and maintain the map vision. I would assume he's also more of the shot caller for his team, letting them know where they need to go, kind of like a PPD for Team Fire.
It doesn't really feel like they have to take any objectives or get much done right now. They've got all their heroes farming. You've got supports getting solo getting XP in the mid lane towards their level 6. They may look to make a play towards the Gyrocopter. He's one of maybe the more gankable heroes compared to the Storm. Especially, yeah, Fluff's already down there. Sentry's the lane, so he's going to deward the lane, realizes he's spotted here. If there's no lane ward, then suddenly he's maybe making a call for someone to TP down like the Shadow Fiend to go for a gank, but right now, you've got a Razor solo pressuring the Brood's tower. This is completely backwards to what's meant to be going on, and there's nothing Brood can do.
Certainly not. I'm just thankful for the little bits of scraps he can get right now to push towards a level 6, but it certainly ain't going to be easy to go up against Jo here. And he'll just have to hold his truff for now. Eventually, he will be able to take down that tower. It looks like 747 has finished his sweep of the woods, and he is very close to his mech.
Here's the move from Pain
out.
towards top, though. They smoked up the Storm, and this is the hero that's going to try to get him back in the game with some ganks.
Let's see when he's going to make a commitment jump right now. There it is. They're looking to go for Jo here. Quick rotations are coming, but it might be too late. Jo's a little far from home and does get brought down. Fluff is first on the scene, gets off an ice shard, but it's just too little too late. But oh, they're making a go for Storm, actually. Has a little bit of mana to make a small jump. It's there. Quickly pops the wand thereafter. Fluff does not want to overextend. Tavo, though, looking to commit. He wants payback for the rough early phase and not going to get it right there. Cold Embrace is going to save him from that nuke. He actually decides to stay. A good Fisher comes in. Look at the cleanup from HFN and might go for a twofer here. Whitebeard in trouble, does go down. Earthshaker is able to pick up that one, and that is a very successful smoke move into the top lane. Helps regain control for the Broodmother. Huge pickoffs. Jo to Fluff, and then to Whitebeard thereafter. And look at this, now making a go out mid lane. ADR gets a call down, but already Storm's Shadow Fiend will TP away.
Still, yeah, that was a nice aggressive play from ADR still here towards mid, just forcing the TP back, and he gets that kill if SF doesn't TP, so great rotation top though. That's exactly what needed to happen. They just know they have the damage to kill the Razor before the TP rotations can even arrive. Fire, the only way they can prevent that is if a hero is already sitting behind him. And Winter Wyvern was level 3. Didn't actually have a point in Cold Embrace. Went for 2 in the Splinter Blast. I think the build is fine from Fluff. It just meant the heal and the save wasn't even there, even if it was camping behind.
Yeah. It just seems like Pain Gaming. They recognized a great opportunity. They saw who was where. Bottom lane, if Fluff is busy doing the ward, it's their chance to make a jump at top lane while Jo's just a bit out too far. And look at this. HFN happy to cut behind the tower here. They're looking to make a big push, and it looks like they will get it. And uh-oh, they see Whitebeard, so they're going to make a jump. A follow-up fissure should lead to an easy grab, but here comes Jo, and that means that HFN will look to turn the corner and walk away with only a little bit of mana left, but nonetheless space created for the rest of his team to clean up the tower, and the last hit is going to be going to your Brood Mama. Action at mid, possibly. Looks like 747 trying to chunk down the tower. Will eat the call-down rocket, both of them. They're considering a fight return here on the ADR, but then they think twice. Just a little bit of trade from both sides. The tower will still stand, and the fight will disperse.
Yeah, SF had Mecha as well, just arrive on the courier, so not a hero you really want to go on any further, but hold the tower, and again, like it's cooldown not actually getting kills, but it's such a short cooldown spell that it doesn't really hurt the SF. If anything, again, you're pushing Fire back, preventing them from pressuring you, so it's still a pretty efficient use of the cooldown, and Fire have to be a bit careful here. This Storm is starting to gain a lot of momentum. Already up to 1,200 gold on top of the Soul Ring. I imagine we just see a Bloodstone rush this game, and HFN has had a fantastic start.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a sticky spot right now for Fire because, as you said, the Storm is literally going to begin to ball out of control. And now that this Brood has just been given back so much with a tower, with a kill, you know, she is going to start infesting this top lane, which means she starts to take over the woods. So you have your supports juggling the idea between making sure that they can maintain their own bit of control in the map, and then also being there at a moment's notice in case this storm does make a committed jump onto a fellow teammate or core. So they really have to have their wits about them in a game like this. Just being able to cover all bases, the Brood base as well as the Storm.
Yeah, because despite Brood's start, Brood is still over 1,000 net worth ahead of Tusk. So ultimately, the current position is much better for the Brood than the Tusk. And Tusk is one of those series he's less farm dependent. Brood needs to be getting farm. Often you see Midases. You want to see, like, this hero needs to have item progression to remain relevant, unlike a Tusk. But it still kind of speaks to the fact that all that work shutting down the Brood early on is somewhat being negated now with that successful rotation in Tier 1 tower.
I feel like part of it also for Fire to be able to turn it up offensively at this point out is for Mu to maybe look to start participating now. He's about level 8 on this Tusk, actually getting pretty close to level 9. We have yet to see that glorious uppercut. Still sports his fresh 0-0-0. I think it's time for him to come to party here. And it looks like on the back end of a DD rune, he's going to head towards the mid lane. The party might just be there.
Yeah, even the SF, you've got the mech. Mech treads, you're very tanky. 1,200 HP with the burst heal from the mech for your team. This lineup has a ton of sustain. Razor also seeing around 1,300 HP with Treads, Aquila, Bracer, Wand, has all these good, cost-effective items. This is a time to fight for Fighter. The 2 kills they've gotten have just been from the laning stage. It's not necessarily about kills, but it doesn't feel like they're applying enough pressure. That changes now, though. They are going to get a free Tier 1 mid-tower of all things, and it looks like the trade for Pain will come in the form of the bottom Tier 1 tower, although TPs are on the way.
Here they come, and plus a snowball in from the north, followed up on an uppercut. ADR could be in trouble. The damage is going to get snapped right here. Can they stop him from making it away? They can't! No Winter's Curse yet there for Fluff, but they are going to be able to take down the Dazzle. Obviously, it would have been great if it was a 2-for there for Fire, but they'll take the 1.
Yeah, I think for Pain, they're going to lose. The Tier 1 bottom tower will get denied most likely, but still, it's space for Brood up top, and really just smart Dazzle play. He waited to grave. He's like, okay, if he can TP out without me graving, it means I can live, because then you can self-grave and TP out, but I think he realized, okay, there's a bit too much damage. I've got to use the grave to protect his TPs, but just selfless play, and again, protects the Gyro's farm, creates space for Storm and Brood.
Uh-oh. Smokes popped suddenly, and they don't have detection. HFN under an invis.
He has dust, actually, but you didn't quite know where. Like, he didn't want to just...
Oh, they see him now. Can they get him from the high ground here? Nope. He drops out of Spirit. The roll's going to come here, but a curse is there just in time. They're going to time out the Walrus Punch, and they're going to get him down. Here comes Earthshaker, dishes out the Fissure, but a cooldown is there as a follow-up. ADR is going to be able to get the quick, swift kill, taking down the support. Now Jayo looking to walk the Earthshaker, turns around and gets a big echo onto the 2. All the meanwhile, ADR is able to finish off Fluff as well. Turns into a 2-for-2 trade. Double supports on the side of Fire, while Pain Gaming will lose their HFN Storm Spirit.
Yeah. Still, yeah, good trade for Fire this time around. They've got the Brood kind of under control as well. Shadow Fiend was the whole time just farming and dealing with the Brood pressure going on at top lane, so that was a great Winter's Curse, and this is where Fire have just got good levels and experience across the board on their supports. They've got a level 7 Rubik, a level 6 Winter Wyvern, and making use of those big ultis to shut down the Storm.
Little bottle trade happening here as Whitebeard makes his return back to lane for Mu. Mu is definitely starting to participate. Almost started to criticize him there, but he's definitely ready to play. Looks like they're going to head towards the top. He still has that dust on hand. Tavo's up here, but he's not looking to give any sort of sign of where he is, because there's already 3 Fire members looking to converge here. Rubik is walking
Dangerous
right
spot
through
to
the
be
broodlings.
Yeah.
Tavo, not much mana, though. Oh, there's the dust. They see him. They're looking to head back the other way here, but Whitebeard's like, I got to deal with all these little broodlings. Snowball will be able to go. Man, it's rolling through everything to get over there, but they can't catch in time. Is he going to dish out the shards for this one? All the meanwhile, Rubik actually goes down to the broodlings behind him. Mu almost desperate to catch up and get redemption, but it's not going to be happening. The dust runs out, and Tavo turns the other way.
Ooh, that's what Brutes need to do. He's gained some revenge.
They're going for mid lane now. ADR going to get caught with a snowball uppercut. There's the quick heal.
Storm goes into
step
tower,
back and away, but yeah, Storm making a committed jump, going for the Wyvern, who's going to be forced to cold embrace himself. Can he wait and burst him down? He can. Drops the Spirit, gets a good auto attack in, and that means the Wyvern will go down. Tusk Shard's not going to be able to block out Cat, and he's going to be able to make it away here. Gotta say, Gods, Pain Gaming looking pretty sharp here in game 1.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a massive Shadow Fiend as far as net worth goes, but it really feels like Pain are the ones in control. They're the ones kind of dictating play here. They pressure with the Brood. He kind of outplays them, and then it makes an opening at mid lane where Storm finds the kills. This smoke gank on the Brood needs to work. The dust catches him, but he can outrun this. He's so fast. 517 movement speed. he just gets away using this movement speed, and the dust will eventually wear off.
This is a pain in the ass, and that means Brood is doing it right. Like,
Yes.
just really frustrating. You're committing a 4-man gank to take down a Brood. You're just hoping that the second this smoke pops, that's dust time, and we're going to hope to catch him. And they're a team that can be fairly mobile. Good move speed from your Razor. Tusk, we all know, can close the gap certainly well, but it's still not enough to be able to catch up with this pesky little Tavo.
And not only is he wasting their time, he's getting the intel of where they are on the map. Right after dust wears off, he's like on that dire jungle spot where he sees 3 to 4 heroes, and he's like, Storm, dude, no one's bottom, you're fine. You've got time to pressure and get some additional farm. So Storm gets farm out of it. The rest of the team know where they can farm on the map. They can remain safe. Gyro's farming the jungle. Dazzle stacking Ancients. Pain are just getting a lot more out of the map, while Fire are just not being anywhere near as efficient. Outside of maybe the Shadow Fiend, who's just a power farmer in himself. He doesn't need that kind of information and efficiency as far as like what we see from the Pain side.
Yeah, 747 has been a lot more stern about, I'm just going to build myself up, get bulky, and when the time comes I need to charge on forward, I'm going to be the man to call to.
0-0-0, but he is farming up a Storm.
We'll have to see if that is going to be enough here, because HFN is building towards a Bloodstone, and at this rate, if he gets it nice and early, could have a wealth of charges.
He's actually just gets it now coming out in the Korea.
And that could be a bit frustrating for Shadow Fiend if he gets kited around too fast. You're not going to be landing any sort of easy raises or a Requiem.
Yeah, and with the Bloodstone picked up now, it'd be a nice time to maybe use the smoke that Earthshaker's holding on to, because you want to try start piling up those charges, starting to snowball. You are a bit worried about Fire 5-mana. If they're 5-mana, you're better off split pushing. You don't want to fight into Winter's Curse and the SF who's got Mech SMY. He is tanky beyond belief. Not to mention Razor, also very tanky. So I think Pain will try to avoid full-on 5v5 engagements, look more for the solo pickoffs. And they can split up Fire. Fire cannot just 5-man against a Brood.
No, certainly not. I mean, they would love to 5-man against the other way while not losing too much in their side lane. I say that, but, you know, Tavo's like tier 2 easy. Grabs that one mid lane. HFN looking to dance behind and gets the assistance there from his Earthshaker. Dishes out the Fissure, and it's starting to feel like Pain are just those wascally little wabbits running all around, and Fire can't really get a good grab on them. And they're just spreading Fire thin. Yeah, but here they go. They're going to look to make a commitment on ADR. There's the pullback. And the follow-up is not going to be there. A bit too nervous. Earthshaker at the north, plus the Storm. They could waltz in. Big Fissure, big Echo. Just not a comfortable spot for Fire.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of like a game of whack-a-mole. You're like, you stop one push, and there's 2 others that is something popping up you got to deal with right now. And Fire just don't have enough mallets to go around the whole team right now, because Pain are just, they're being annoying. And this Brood now with the Vlads has even more increased pushing potential. And it's just spreading Fire thin right now. They're going to make another go to gank this Brood, but the last 2 attempts have been unsuccessful. And Brood, he's sending single Spiderlings out towards the jungle just to scout these very movements out. He's being very good with this. And if I'm Fire, you're probably... I'm thinking, like, it's time to just buy a gem. Winter Wyvern may be the one to kind of carry it and look for the pickoffs. Or Tusk, potentially. I think gem is just needed.
Yeah.
Oh, they do scout. Oh, Tavo.
There he is.
He stepped out of his
They
web.
move in. Moo has the dust. Oh, doesn't connect with the uppercut. Doesn't commit with the dust either. He is a lone man in doing this.
Yeah, I think he was just too alone. And meanwhile, Shadow Fiend gets picked off at top. That's why he didn't want to go in, because suddenly he's like, oh, Painter just ganked the SF who was my backup, and the SF is dead.
Oh, this is starting to look pretty damn good for Pain. You got to remember at the start, Tavo got pretty much nothing in lane as a Brood. It took that one simple push to the top lane. They take the tower. They take a couple. They took 3 kills in that big push, and that was just ever since then. It's been all Pain all day, and they have just been utilizing that big surge of power and putting it all over the place. It's been a bit frustrating to Fire. It looks like they're trying to kind of find their way. They head back towards the bottom. We'll add some pressure there, but. HFN already working on mid lane. He's got his Bloodstone now up to 9, and Tavo's back at work at the top.
No. And definitely one of the limitations of the Razor pick is that it just doesn't have that kind of mobility to move around the map quickly. I mean, you can kind of nuke down waves and try and push it out with Plasma Fill, but it just doesn't. You don't have that like pick-off potential to go with it. It's just not quite as versatile as having like the Queen of Pain or Lean in your team. You've got SF and Razor. Both of these are kind of farming heroes that just want to fall back, farm a wave, and can't really apply pressure or have like the kill threat. If SF goes for like a Yule's Blink build, he has it, but he's gone for a more kind of push 5-man type build with the SMY. And as a result, there's just not enough scary pick-off potential outside of the Tusk and the Winter Wyvern, who are constantly being scouted out, Spiderlings, and it's just Pain who are kind of really just been great as far as their movement around the map, using their map control to their advantage.
I mean, after a game like this, it's still very early to say, but if Pain continue to play this way, I can guarantee almost Fire will have to look at the draft a bit different for the next go, whether it's making sure they secure to save out their potential offlaner to later in the draft, or whether it's just a respect ban towards the Brood. Now that Pain have just, hey everyone, I know you probably forgot about Pain Gaming, but we play a damn good Brood. So regardless of how strong you think your tri-lane is and your, how aggressive you can play your supports, have your sentries ready, I will still, hold strong and play my Brood game.
Well, from here on out, Pain, they're kind of going to just react. I think, well, they want to be the ones dictating play, but they need to react based on their vision. So if they see Fire 5-manning top, they're going to probably look to quickly pressure mid. Storm balls on mid, wants to pressure it out fast, and Gyro rushes towards the bottom tier 2. So I think recognizing that Fire's play right now is to 5-man, they're just going to split push the other 2 lanes and then defend like at the last possible moment. Once they've got the maximum farm and damage done, like, right now, Fire's not farming. They've got 5 heroes, 2 of them pushing, 3 seeing behind the 2 pushing, whereas Pain are farming up and pressuring the mid lane, farming up and pressuring the bottom lane, while getting in position to defend their top lane.
Okay, the first defense showing up here. HFN conveniently has an Invis rune. They don't know if he canceled. They don't know what the hell's going on, but they are going to head back. Can they get a straggler? They're looking for Jo. Jump in, Vortex pull. They're going to grab a hold of him, look to go to the side. Eye of the Storm is going to be triggered out. A big fissure, and here comes the call down. ADR charging on forward. Jo's in trouble. He goes down along with the Rubik. Whitebeard also going to meet his defeat. Moo does have his blink, is able to just barely scathe away here, but it is a stronghold nonetheless. Fire may have still taken down the tower. Was it denied? No, but
it was taken. But
they get the tower, but they still lose so much.
Yeah. And there was, I think, a tower taken elsewhere by Pain during all that.
Well, they got a little bit of damage, but
oh,
it
no,
looks
it's
like
just, just a dire glyph, actually. I thought the dire thing popping up was a tower. It was just, okay, so glyph force, but ultimately Pain get a lot more out of that. They got the kills. They were farming the other 2 lanes. They were just being more efficient with their time. And for Fire, it's still just the story. The SF getting a lot and the rest of the team getting very little. Jo is falling off a lot. In the laning stage, it was great coming out from him, but since then, he's been well overtaken by all 3 cores on the Pain Gaming side.
It's hard to say that it's just the Razor being put in this kind of position, or if it's what Jo can really do with the Razor, if that makes any sense.
I think it's kind of the overall team strategy where they've just their plan, like when they went to gank the Brood and failed, and then as a result of that, those ganks on Brood failing, they couldn't 5-man. They got out farmed because they stuck together and didn't get ganks, didn't get towers, and that was just like sometimes those ganks on the Brood work, and as a result, you kill the Brood. Brood's no longer pressuring, and because of that, you can take towers, take objectives, but things didn't kind of go according to that script, and as a result, it just backfires and goes in Pain's favor. So it could very easily be going heavily in Fire's way if those 2 ganks on the Brood had worked.
For now, though, they are able to easily take down a Roche, pretty much all 747 for that, so that secures his Aegis, which would help Fire if they do want to go back and do another 5-man kind of hurrah. But all the meanwhile, Tava was able to complete a Desolator, and as we all know, with that recent patch, his Unstable Hunger no longer a UAM, and that means that the Desolator will work. So it's hefty, hefty damage from that right click. Does make him still a little bit frail as far as life and HP pool, but as it has been shown already, he's very hard to get a hold of. Yeah. So you have to get a hold of him if you want to be able to actually hit him. And already he TP's out, finds somewhere else to do work.
Yeah, there is a gem picked up by Moose. So both teams with a gem, I believe. I saw one earlier on Dazzle. I'm not sure where you put it. I think, oh, it's okay. It's back on the crew. So Dazzle dewarded some and then just returned the gem just to make sure he doesn't lose it. Probably pick it up a bit later on. Feels like they've got some good vision up. They don't need the gem right now to deward, so he's just going to hold off. Storm, Shiver's Guard.
Uh-oh. Get out of there, Fluff. You're in trouble. Oh, they do the weave up to the northern part, so they won't scout him out. Luckily, he went southern.
Yeah, I wonder if they realized he put a ward down there. That's like, it's such a Fluff move. Fluff has some like very signature kind of plays, like these solo smoke warding missions, these very deep plays in the trees. He loves going for these like level 1 ganks from the secret shop.
Oh, and that ward saw the smoke. I don't know if they actually saw it at the moment and pinged it. This ward,
they were like in the were they both in the trees?
One was like right here. It was very close.
Yeah. They didn't smoke like ADR, who was just in the lane. I wonder if it was like almost like, he warded there. Let's make it look like Gyro's alone, but It doesn't look like they're going to fall for
Check
anything
the
here.
tapes on that one. It was very close.
Going to be able to rewind.
They're not going to make anything of the smoke nonetheless. It looks like just continue to park themselves here on the bottom. Well, slow pressure is coming in from the northern side, from Fire. Tavo's here first, but 747 quickly trucks down a lane. And look at this, all hands on deck towards the top lane. Looks like they might want to start putting this Aegis to possible use. We're going to have 747 just kind of charge on forward here with help nearby in the form of Moo, who quickly scouts out the high ground ward. It's not going to be there, so they know that he's in the dark. Unfortunately, though, for them, there is a ward, but it's behind.
C4T, he's going to lose the gem.
Easy gem.
That... okay, so he realized, I think it was a smoke bait play. He realized the ward was there. He brought out the gem on the courier just to deward it. But then suddenly it's like, oh crap, Fire or 5-man here. I don't have time to deward this. My team just bailed on me. I've just lost the gem. So that was that was a very bad sequence of events for Pain. Losing the gem is normally bad against a Brood, although Fire already had a gem for one thing, so as far as losing the Dazzle doesn't really matter, but yeah, that's a pretty big swing going Fire's way.
They continue moving down this bottom lane with 2 minutes still to go on this Aegis. I certainly don't see why not. The tier 2 is going to be brought down. Another pocket of gold going for Susie right here. He sports 4.3k here on his Shadow Fiend. What is our next item here? Is he going to just continue to build up into the damage at this point? Yeah, consider something maybe like a Butterfly. I don't see an MKB in the works yet for your
Traditionally,
ADR.
you'd see a lot of Scotty, but I feel like he's easily tanky enough already. I don't see him being easily brought down. There's no evasion yet on Gyro. I think a Daedalus Satanic type build could be just the way to kind of itemize towards the late game. Evasion is kind of handy against Brood, but I mean the other option is to go for the MKB because incapacitating bite is very annoying as far as the mischance goes. But we'll see. He picks up the Eagle Song, so it will be a Butterfly. Goes for the evasion route.
Gotta get that armor. Get that nice little bit of armor. Helps against the Desolator.
Yeah. Flood is also a really nice underrated ability that people kind of don't really mention enough when picking up this item or often forget to use.
It's because it's a silly name, gods. That's why no one likes to talk about it.
It's also new. It's like
I'm just gonna flutter to this camp. Don't worry.
It's like you've been playing Dota for 10 years or whatever, and Flutter's only been on Butterfly for 6 months or something. Yeah.
There we go. Got him. Big rocket. It's 747. Not gonna stop him from doing the CS, but you can feel the body language has definitely shifted for Pain. It might be just because that Fire now obtained the Aegis and they know that they have the benefit of that extra life and expect Fire to be playing more aggressive, so they want to be defensively prepared. But it's definitely not as assertive as it was prior. Now that we've reached this 30-minute point, you can feel it's a bit more tense here.
And they're in a very defensive position. I mean, even you can see in the items, going for Shivers over an Orchid on Storm is a very defensive way of playing. SF.
Yeah, SFS
he lost
trailing
Aegis.
behind Pain, and now the Aegis is down, and they easily turn on top of him. Drop the Echo, drop the kill. He's going to be taken down. They've been hunting Brood this whole time, and they still have not been able to bring him down. They're going to get the lift, but here comes help soon. If they can't finish him off, they got to get the hell out of there. Jo pops a BKB and a TP and will make it out, while HFN is trying to get the chase on the Fluff. Won't be able to catch up. Ooh. Pain get a nice quick grab. Whitebeard is one last straggler here. He's got the gem, and he's got no TP. That is a gem returned back to Pain Gaming side.
Okay, so that SF getting found there, isolated about 10 seconds after his Aegis expired. Oh man, that was it was a great time to go for a smoke gank. Pain timed the smoke gank around the Aegis expiring. Their overall strategy and shot calling this game has been really on point. Just decisions like that of timing their smoke gank, because they were very happy to find the Storm, the SF there. They were thinking let's smoke, and if we find the SF, that's the best possible result. And that's exactly who they found. And not only did they find him, they found him alone. So it was an easy kill.
It almost looked like the initial plan was that, okay, they found Tava with the gem. They're chasing him. We'll sweep in from behind, but I don't know, maybe 747 kind of peeked out from the mid lane right at the back end. And the caboose of the smoke gate was like, hey, that's an SF. Turn around, get him.
It felt like they were trying to smoke north towards the Brood because they knew the Brood was going to get ganked through the gem tusk. So they're like, okay, they're going to be looking to pick off our Brood. Let's counterplay it, but they found a better result just by a bit of luck, I guess you could say. But I think they did still. It was very intentional to time it around the Aegis expiring, regardless of who they found.
And now that passive behavior might not be so passive here from Pain. They now feel probably a bit more confident at this point. We look at the overall net worth. It's going towards that 6K mark. The XP more dramatic for Pain right now. 13 charges on your Storm. HFN also sporting a Shivas, and he's got the ulti orb here. So probably a build into the Sheepstick, I would imagine. No real need for Lincolns in this game.
It's good against Winter's Curse, but I think you've already got Shivers. You've gone very defensive already, so I agree that I think the Hex is much better, but...
That Shivas also is going to be doing a lot of work this game.
It just helps if he gets Winter's Curse, it's going to block a lot of the physical damage. If his teammates are right-clicking him, if SF is right-clicking him, the bonus armor and slowing the attack speed, really, really nice.
Oh, Shadow Fiend just TP'd the bottom lane here.
Oh, gosh.
HFN is sweeping in. He's trying to head back, but he already makes the committed jump, and there you go. A blink on forward from your Earthshaker lands the fissure. It's going to force out a BKB here from 747. Fakes once with the Requiem and will walk away. Pain Gaming probably happy to just force out the charge, and oh, that's Enchant Totem being stolen, unfortunately.
Nice totem use there from QW. They're doing all the little things right as well.
They really are.
Earthshaker was a little out of range for the Blink Echo there, not by any fault from him. It was just Storm saw an opening to go in. Earthshaker tried to get there in time. If he was in range for a Blink Echo instead of just a Blink and a long range fissure, that's another kill on SF. But luckily for SF, the Earthshaker wasn't there.
And you see something like that, you kind of feel a bit on edge. If you want to walk out to a lane by yourself and begin farming here, you got to make sure you have all bases covered, leading in with some basic ward coverage here. Let's take a look at the Fire vision right now as they do smoke up. There's really not a whole lot of it here. A little bit of a safety spot there at the top lane, but outside of that, they're pretty much heading into the dark here. So.
Oh yeah, and this Remnant will scout them out if the smoke pops. It blows up, actually. I don't know... They maybe just think it expired.
Move in from Moo, going for ADR. Will catch with the Walrus Punch. That weave actually not going to be hitting the Gyrocopter, so now he's going to get static linked. He's trying to walk away with his BKB. They get a quick catch and finish off the Dazzle. HFN jumps in, does force JO to second guess a committed push here. The follow through is not going to be there. It turns into a simple Dazzle pick for this full team smoke.
They did steal the gem, I believe.
Did they get the gem back again?
Tusk has one, and I think they have both gems on the dire side now.
So one of them is Cat's gem. It looks like the one on Fluff. Yep.
Yeah.
So 2 gems here for...
Yeah. So again, just a Dazzle. Like the pick off it, like the smoke for the Dazzle, really bad result for Fire. But the fact they get a gem just makes it a bit more acceptable. And they also got Roche control, so this is a good time to go for that smoke play.
HFN. Hi, guys. What are you doing? Walks right in, pops a Shiva, gets lifted right into an uppercut here. Do they have the lockdown? They do. Okay.
Oh, he didn't bowl far enough.
Oh, man.
He, like, bowled into the edge of the... Like, the Rec Room kind of hit him, and then he bowled away, and then hit him again.
Oh.
That was one of those...
He really thought he was going to be safe. I mean, can you really blame him? He had a haste rune, plenty of mana to work with there, and unfortunately just kind of plays with fire. Oh, I didn't even mean to do that, gods. And he gets burned. Here we go. Tavo still is continuing to do work here up in the jungle. SMY now to go in tandem with his Desolator. And J.O., get the hell out of here, you freaking spider. So this is what Broodmother does. Probably not going to venture out too much from this top lane. Continues to find opportunities that, hey, Fire is doing other things. Let me creep into this high ground.
I mean, you can just, like, peeking at the minimap, you just see little orange dots everywhere. And they're not webs. Those are spiderlings scouting out the map, seeing what's going on elsewhere. He is really just splitting them up and just playing a vision game. That's where Fire haven't been able to find pickoffs outside of their smokes, and the smoke usage is going to be key moving forward, but they're actually out. They've only got 1 smoke in about a minute's time, and that's it. So I think they want to try and use that smoke while they've got Aegis, try and find a pickoff, and then go for a high ground push. This is, to me, one of the kind of key windows for Fire in this game.
And 747 is almost getting to that critical mass kind of a point. I mean, with the exception, you could swap out Power Treads for Boots of Travel and then replace that Aegis with something different. Probably the mech as well down the line, but he's getting there already. And this is still a 2-2 Shadow Fiend. So if they want to kind of get to their prime spot, it's got to be coming soon. Let's say this game goes pretty late here, gods. Advantage for one particular side or the other.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think slightly Radiant favored. Storm late game is just really beastly. Like, you've got decent lockdown, Walrus Punch, Winter's Curse, Telekinesis, but he's just so good at, like, it forces your opponents to stick together as 5 a lot.
Oh. Now, they have pinged out. I don't know how they saw it. I'm looking at their vision. They don't see it now. But they know HFN and Earthshaker are here. It's been pinged multiple times. Hi. That's a sigil. Uh-oh, they got to go. They're going to make a committed jump on the jail. Can they save him in time? They got a big Winter's Curse, a snowball forward from Moo. There's the uppercut. The Requiem is going to be going out, and they quickly wipe out 2. That was beautifully done right there. They knew they were going to be there waiting in the trees. They had Jo go out in front, and the follow-up came shortly thereafter.
I think it was the lane ward, and they just guessed it. I think that was just predictive play coming out from Fire. That's all it could be. I don't think there was any way to like get sight of like a remnant in those trees, but that was just really remarkable decision making. Great shot calling from both sides this game. We see it there from Fluff. Stole the fissure on Whitebeard's Rubik to just secure the kill, and
oh, they got a gem. They're looking to go for Tavo. Tavo pops the ulti here, gets some respectable damage onto Moo, but not enough. Now Moo's got help. They're going for the desperate TP. Can he uppercut? No! It's on cooldown for another 3 seconds. Snowball for another 2 seconds. Good heads-up play from Tavo to know that it was a good time to eject out of there and makes it away.
Tavo is playing really well this game. If you ignore the first 5 minutes, this Brood performance has been spectacular, and he's going to continue applying pressure towards that top lane, it seems, and Fire have got their work cut out for them. They're not going to be able to kind of go for any kind of a high ground siege with this Aegis. They've just picked up a full Satanic on SF, who sells his mech. He is getting ridiculously farmed. He's as farmed as it gets for 38 minutes SF, and needs to be careful not to get picked off as soon as the Aegis expires again. But I have a feeling Fire will look to get something done before the Aegis expires.
Yeah. For now, they do cluster towards this mid lane. No smoke on hand. Maybe just a casual sweep through the Fire Woods here. If they can maybe come across a spider, that'd be swell. But as we've already seen from Tavo, he continues to dish out those little scouts. Aha! They see Jo, so he knows where he has to stay safe, continues to build back, and this is just him creating the space.
It's actually impossible to gank him without smoke, it feels like, with how he's playing, and it's not worth smoke using your only remaining smoke to gank a Brood in the top lane. You can't even turn it into an objective, so again, another single spider lane. They're using the courier to scout over the trees here on the Fire side. They're trying to find the Brood in these trees using this.
Not just any courier. That is a very expensive one, too. Yeah. That is a golden
courier.
That is the courier to scout with. And, well, they're not going to be able to find Brood. Tavo already pieced out a minute or so prior and went back to base and will waltz back up to the top lane here. He's like, I am not going away from this lane. That's no time for me to hightail and take my business elsewhere. We got shop to open up here. He'll continue to move back. Cat, very quiet on his dazzle. More of that selfless position. Has a simple urn, a couple of wards. You know, he's just there as the grave guy. Not even a level in poison touch. And ADR by his side does have an MKB for the response to the butterfly.
The big problem here for Fire, I mean, just to go back a bit to the overall strategy, is this Storm Brood duo. The problem is, typically against a Brood, you don't care about ganking the Brood because you send a hero like SF to just solo deal with the split push, and you have Boots of Travel, and then you TP in to join up with your team. But with the Storm combo with the Brood, it means any single hero countering the Brood push can get picked off by the Storm. That's really the big threat there. You can't just send one hero top to push out Brood's lane because they'll just get picked off by Storm. And alternatively, you don't want to commit 3 to 4 heroes to stop the Brood because then Brood is just creating so much space for the team. So you've really got to find openings to go for that 5-man push, and right now that's one of their few openings.
Oh, this is it. Brood is a little too far from adding pressure to that top lane. They got 5, they got an Aegis, but this is a hard high ground to push
Aegis has expired.
Oh, it just expired. Yep, you're right.
And Weave is pretty good, minus armor. Like, I don't know
they
if
have to wait.
Pushing into Gyro Earthshaker is just not going to happen.
If they want to do it, though, it's got to be like at this time while Brood's far, so they can't. They have no Aegis. The Weave is taking too long to wait for. Pain hold.
This game could last some time, and it really feels like Fire don't have a clear way to break high ground or easily win this game. At the same time, they're holding their own. They're not losing this game by any means. The SF is remaining farm. Raze has gone for an Ag Scepter, so he has got that pushing power from the Ags, and if he can get up to like a Refresher, if that's... I don't know if he wants to go Refresher. He may want some extra armor, go for a Shivers or a AC, but either way, Razor can start looking towards the late game. Tusk almost has enough money for a Solar Crest as well, which is a nice item to get some evasion against the Brood, and even the Storm at some point having evasion can help a little bit against him. But Pain just looked like the more formidable lineup going late game with the Gyro and the Storm both big. And
brief pause here. HFN jumping into the mid lane, popping Shivas and everything. He's doing it right next to 747. There's plenty of the Pain company behind him here. Still quite a ways behind, though. 40R with no real mobility. Earthshaker's a bit too far. Fluff is nearby to aid Susie just in case with his new Glimmer Cape.
They see Fluff with on the Wyvern. They actually also see Moo up top. The Spiderling scouts at Moo, so they see 3 Dire Heroes right now. I don't know if they would risk going on this, though. They don't see Razor or Rubik.
Which Razor is right next to Moo, and so is Rubik.
I think the Earthshaker's too far. He's in range for... He's got Blink and Force. He could force stuff and Blink and get a Fissure off, but I don't think they go for the SF. Also, it'd be a bit kind of like bad-mannered to go for the kill in the SF right after you pause and had like a minute to theorycraft. Like, okay, this is exactly where we're going to kill this guy using these spells in this order, so... I think that would be...
Yeah. I mean, technically what? Maybe if he jumps up here, corrals 747 to go down more south away from his team... If they had to plot it out for whatever reason, pulling him away from Fluff. I assume Fluff might be going for a Blink Dagger, right? 2,200 gold saved up. I like getting
Wyvern?
Blink on
Yeah,
Wyvern.
absolutely.
Blink, quick save with Cold Embrace, and more importantly, the difference between landing a very nice Winter's Curse and not. No. Wouldn't that be a very beautiful setup there, but...
The Satanic on SF means if you want to go on him, you have to burst him from full to 0. You can't give him a chance to pop BKB Satanic and get attacks off, because... he will quickly heal up, and that's where I don't see Pain trying to go on him here. That would just be a silly play to make. But right now, Fire, kind of going over. They haven't got clear ways to kind of take a lane of racks or really take objectives at this point. Pain are the ones continuing to be pesky with the Brood. Even often you see Brood fall off in late game, but so far has not happened here.
Do you have any opinion about Broodmother deciding to go down the road of a SMY over something like, let's say, a Necro book, if you're kind of going more split push heavy?
He wants to be able to fight. Like a lot of the pressure he's done has actually been when he's just kind of man-fighting heroes. And on top of that, he's going to scale better the late game. Necro books fall off. SF can just farm them. They become free gold for Razor for SF. BKB, it wasn't really a BKB game because there's so much to go through it. With Winter's Curse, Tusk Walrus Punch, a lot of physical damage. Whitebeard may find Tavo here. He's caught him.
Lift him! Got him. Not going to be TPing out. They pull Tavo back. They're going to get help from Jo now. He's like, I might be able to get Fluff. Fluff quickly forced to get away. Tavo's like, I got to take this guy with me, but there's going to be a snowball. There's going to be an uppercut, and there's going to be a dead spider. Yeah. Good eyes right there. Whitebeard able to kind of go into the cracks and crevices and find little Tavo.
Yep. That's the kind of plays they need to try and make, but... yeah, just managed to sneak by the Spiderlings. That, for the most part, Tavo's been sending little Spiderlings out to constantly scout. Still, Brood kind of doing his job, though. Obviously, your job's not to die in the process, but he creates space for his team to pressure bottom, and immediately Fire can't just push the top lane. They've got to deal with the Pain team here at bottom lane.
Yeah, it looks like for a while they were kind of scooting the gyro forward, almost as a bait attempt, but... now they quickly see the reinforcements coming in from Fire from that top lane, and they quickly put their attention elsewhere. Now HFN is going to take over as the Brood.
He went back for a BKB, by the way, worth noting.
You're right.
It's a curious pickup. It does allow him just... he's going to have to use this when he goes into the fight, because he wants to be BKB. It's... I mean, what? You dodge the Telekinesis and the Requiem?
It's not going to help against a Winter's Curse, though, if he is going to be the cursed target.
It helps him in the sense that he's going to initiate with the BKB, so if he gets cursed during the BKB, you can't Requiem. That's how he dies. A Winter's Curse plus Requiem combo, so if he's preemptively BKBing, it does save him from the Winter's Curse. Just because it blocks all the magic damage, but it's still a lot of stuff to go through BKBs. As far as controlling him during this, there won't be any issues. It's just going to give him some freedom. He's unkillable if he goes in with BKB, I believe, for the most part. There's still like Winter's Curse and SF right-click damage, but he's not going to go in a lone 1v5. That at least I hope not. That shouldn't be the plan.
BKB also in the hands of Brood. Full 10 seconds. So BKB's all over here for the side of Pain Gaming.
I mean, some of the pesky stuff coming out, like spells like Arctic Burn do scale well into the late game. It's percent-based damage. The slow's really, really strong. So even just blocking spells like Arctic Burn, Splinter Blast is a slow as well. Like the SF Requiem's still doing a lot of damage here.
This is just getting to that really fickle part of the game where you know that it could be over in a moment's notice. One big fight, one direction. The buybacks come out and it could lead to disaster. But here we go. It's Pain who's going to take the next move here.
I hope around Roshan respawn too. This is Not quite. I mean, not. It's like a middle length respawn.
They're
not
both going right for it here. Unsmoked Fire Squad are going to have the uphill advantage. The smoke will be popped. Jo, oh my goodness. Quickly going to pop out the nuke, walk back and away. Roche is up now. 747 moves close here. And he's happy to charge in for ADR, but Tavo comes in from behind, and now he's going to get jumped from the Storm Spirit. The backliner, Earthshaker, is going to get caught out, looks like, from Moo. Can they finish off the Storm here? Barely kept alive from the Cold Embrace. Fluff is going to be the one to go down. Susie's still alive right now. Gets help from Glimmer Cape. Eventually will get brought down, and they take down Jo. A huge fight for Pain Gaming. Oh, unstoppable right now for ADR, and that leads to a follow-up Roche takedown.
He just couldn't find someone to hit during his Satanic there. Nice play by Pain there. Once they saw the Satanic on, they kind of kited him around, and Tavo looking for a little bit more in his own jungle, but won't find either Moo or Whitebeard. And
that was a no Winter's Curse, no Walrus Punch. Kind of a fight. Oh, it could have been used early in the fight, I suppose. They put a lot of priority on getting that Earthshaker on the back lines, but that left their Shadow Fiend fully alone and exposed, taken advantage of.
And normally you'd say the team like with the high ground there, which was Fire, would have an advantage, but not at all the case. Both teams had decent ward vision around the area, and it's going to be Pain forcing the high ground here. This is going to be, they've got to use buybacks or they're going to lose racks here. And they used one buyback, but they're holding the SF one for now.
They might be able to do it without the SS. They still do have that curse.
Yeah.
So, and I think maybe Pain are like, we're okay with this one buyback.
Yeah. And the worry if you're Pain is that Winter's Curse is used and SF buys back while it's used, and you get like 2 or 3 kills, and just a terrible fight happens. I think they'll save the Winter's Curse for the SF being alive. Or they're going to use it with an SF buyback, or they'll wait till SF is alive.
Oh, they're going to dive in. Jo gets hit with the Fisher, pops a BKB right after. HFN makes a committed jump in, goes right back out. Tavo not going to be so lucky. Caught with the telekinesis and a pullback. Going to be forced to BKB, but he is losing lots of damage right now. Jo is just sucking it all up. And it will be enough to get him to just cripple away. And, well, it looked like they're going to make a committed move there with Moo to try to finish off Tavo, but he is able to get himself up, perched on the cliff. SF is back, and it looks like Pain are not going to be able to move forward with another high ground push.
Flirting with danger there, Pain, but no high ground, just the Razor buyback. Unfortunately, Razor is the hero who kind of needs item progression more than the SF. SF picks up a Demon Edge, will be buying an MKB as his last item against the Butterfly Evasion, against the Broodmother, Incapacitate. I fucking hate the name of that spell. Incapacitating Bite. One of those words I always stumble over.
Yeah.
And, yeah, Razor's one who's got way more room to grow item-wise. He's sitting on Aquila, Wand, and Drums. 3 items you want to replace as a Razor, so that's not going to happen anytime soon with that buyback.
Does he have the time to be able to evolve and build up into that kind of a powerhouse Razor, though? That is the question here, because just as Pain pull off from their push in the mid lane, they are happy to make another run at it. HFN still holds his Aegis here, so they figure that they might be able to get some use out of it before it does expire.
And Susie, no buyback on Shadow Fiend, buys the Demon Edge, which means having buyback for an uncompleted item at 48 minutes in, maybe something he probably wasn't thinking about. Probably thought he had more time because Pain weren't really pushing, but they've still got Aegis.
Going. They already dished out the weave. And ADR is going to be one to go in first. He's like, I'm here. Drops down the welcome mat out of a call down and gets welcomed with a quick Tusk block. He turns the corner to walk away, and that will be the end of it. Maybe hoping to bait out some quick spells. Would have Cat nearby to help him out in case there was trouble, but for now, just a casual push. This tier 3 about half of its life. Pain continue to swim around like sharks in water here. Might decide to divert and go for instead the last outer tower here on the bottom.
Yeah, they've got the cheese as well in the Gyrocopter, so still 2 minutes with this Aegis. So they can get this tier 2 bottom and then make another go at the high ground if they want to. And they can do so with pretty low risk. Just have the Storm and the Gyro on the front lines. Have the Dazzle as well as Earthshaker just sitting back ready to kind of use their defensive counter initiations or their Graves to save a teammate.
Look at this 747. I got to cut this wave. He is going to push down mid as much as possible. And Boots to travel back when necessary. Jump in, though, comes out from HFN. Tries to get some early damage onto Moo. Does force him back a bit. Just taking advantage of the opportunity while Shadow Fiend is not here. And with the last bit of time he has on this Aegis, just freely out in front. Now they move in. They get the sheep here on a 747 before he's able to kind of get off the BKB. Does decide to step back. The winter curse is going to be there. It's on to ADR. Can they finish him off? HFN comes in behind, gets the pullback onto Moo. ADR is going to be safe and well with the help of the Grave. Moo, not so lucky, is going to be going down to HFN. He's on the run. A jump-in Echo comes out from your Earthshaker, and the follow-up from HFN will be there. But look at this. 747 continues to hold strong, gets the help from the Glimmer and his BKB, and tries to just right-click and muscle his way back, but it's not going to be able to get an HFN. Will end up popping, but that is just his Aegis. ADR still continues to just burst down these racks now that they're exposed. There goes HFN. He's looking to clear out this backstaff. Goes for Whitebeard. Gets the pullback, but a cold embrace is going to be there from Fluff and keeps him alive. They end up turning their attention on the 747 and quickly finish him off. Forces out the buyback. Oh, not so lucky. Rubik steals the Powerball, but is not able to make it away to safety. Here comes Susie back from the dead, trying to keep them out from the base. ADR forced back. Huge wave. Comes out from Cat. Keeps him alive. Now they get the pullback. This will be a dieback if they can finish him off. He's trying to man mode up. Can he go down? Saved from a Glimmer Cape. The last dying breath of Fluff. Goes for the Requiem off, but it's not going to be very effective. He ends up going down. It's a dieback for him, and this could be the game. Pain. No one to sleep on. They look really good here in game number 1, and it looks like they might be able to get Jo as well. Desperate, walking, sapping damage, does make it back into the fountain. Moo returns, jumps back, gets an uppercut. Tavo may be going down here, will go down. Maybe they can get HFN. He is on his last bit of mana here. Tries to run back and away. They turn back for Cat instead. And they will get the Grave, and he'll TP back and away. This Pain Squad is hard to take down. They are durable as hell. They go back for the mid lane. They get the tier 3. They get 1 Rax, and it looks like they'll get the second, gods.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
They're going towards top lane, although both supports about to respawn. There's about to be 4 heroes alive on this dire side. Brood buys back. They've got 80 seconds with no Shadow Fiend still. And I think they just say, look, if we get all 5 here, there is no way we lose this. Storm has buyback and Boots of Travel. Boots of Travel waiting in his stash, so it doesn't even matter if he dies. He can just buy back, and he's got a minute without Shadow Fiend here. I think Pain know they're going to get Mega Creeps here, and they're going to win this game.
Jo sapping up some nice damage here from Tavo. Helped by Moo to hold him in place with the uppercut. Now there's ADR. Going to get connected. Quick Glimmer save. They decide to step back here. Are they finally going to take a breather?
Well, they'll take maybe a 20-second breather. I think they... No Shadow Fiend. 45 seconds. Still.
You could taste victory at this point, man. Just a quick rush through like that. 2/3 of the base just completely ransacked.
They're just healing up a bit. Dazzle arrives with some heals, earns as well as Shadow Wave. Storm will be back to full HP, and that means Storm can actually just go jumping in.
Oof. This is it. Potentially the beginning of the end here for Team Fire in game number 1 in this best of 3. And here they go. They move in. They get a quick heal. HFN goes right for Moo. Glimmer is going to be there. Still has the pullback, has the vision. BKB is going to jump up to the north to walk away from this one, and they may try to get him, but what they don't have anymore is the racks. It's Mega Creeps now. It's going to be Pain Gaming's game. They end up finishing off Jo, and it looks like they may end up finishing off the rest of Team Fire. Winter's Curse does come out from Fluff, but it's not going to be enough to finish off HFN, and that is game number 1. About 53 minutes in is what it takes, and Pain pull out an upset in the first one.
Oh, just impressive stuff all around. The Storm play was on point. The Brood recovery after that rough laning stage was just spectacular. Like, this Brood to me was the MVP. Outside, like, I think the lane stage could have maybe been played a little bit better, but he was the one who kind of created space, gave them so much information around the map. He was the one who kind of gave them the map control throughout, and that was just really good play coming out from Tavo. And the whole team, I mean, I'd say both teams played well. Fire's play at bottom lane where they got the two kills on the heroes in the trees, just knowing they were there. That was a great read on the game as well. This was just an all-around well-played games from both sides.
And with that, I'm sure Fire just kind of got shaken up quite a bit. I don't know how lax they came into this matchup. I know Fluff is a very serious player, so I'm sure he didn't overestimate how good, or underestimate rather, Pain Gaming. And if he did, I'm sure he does not anymore. Very solid play. HFN 9-3 on his Storm. ADR 7-0 Gyrocopter, and Tavo on that Brood. Struggling start, stuck at level 1 for what felt like forever. Ends up still being able to do what a Broodmother does. So I applaud Pain Gaming for their Game 1 performance, but we'll see if it's going to be enough to take the whole series. Folks, game number 2 is going to be coming right up here for the NYChampionships and a qualifier. I'm Coddle Guy, that's Gods. We'll see you in just a few moments.